Hey guys, Sean Terry here, flip2freedom.com, and we got a lot of stuff to cover, and I want to get right into it. I'm going to give you some cool stuff tonight, and I'm going to share basically about a bunch of questions that people asked on an Instagram post that I posted here recently. So the question was, ask me anything. I just basically opened it up on Instagram, and I said, ask me anything. And I got a flood, 60, 70 questions of people asking about specific things. And they asked, how do I get my first contract? What is the best lead source? What is the best business model to go get deals? How can I generate X amount of dollars? There was different questions about lead generation, what to say, how to contract, how to sell your properties, whole bunch of stuff on how to get deals done. So what I'm gonna do tonight is I am going to cover basically a 6-step process to get deals closed. I'm gonna show you exactly how to go out and do it. So let's go in the computer right here. I'll show you, it's basically a free coaching session. I'm gonna go through, answer these questions, how to find, how to contract, and how to close 5 wholesale deals, making $50,000 by 12/31/2020. Right? We're going to show you exactly how to do it. 5 $10,000 deals, an average $10,000 deals. Now, that's what we're going to cover, and it's essentially a 6-step process that we use. And what I want to talk about here is this step-by-step process. We're going to go through each one of them tonight. And the first one is understanding the numbers and predicting income. I'm actually going to share with you a spreadsheet that we use that gets you laser focused on going out and getting deals. That process of what to focus on, and the most important things to focus on. So I'm going to talk about that. It's what we call our first check matrix. I built it. It's a spreadsheet. It's awesome. It works great. The next thing we're going to talk about is where to do business. Now, I do deals virtually all across the entire country. I mean, we got more deals in every different state, all over the place. It's crazy right now. But I'm going to talk about specifically where to do business. I'm going to give you the top 5 places in the country to actually do business. And I'm going to talk about the top 3 ways to find motivated sellers. I'm actually going to take you in and show you exactly how to find those motivated sellers. I'm also going to talk about the 4-step over-the-phone closing process. All the deals we do are over the phone, okay? It's all done virtually, all across the country, all over the phone. We don't go look at the property. We get seller to take pictures, but there's a specific process that we use to get deep discount deals. I mean, to the tune of, we closed a $192,000 deal, a $114,000 deal. We've got right now a deal that's a $148,000 deal up in Washington. We've got another $100,000, actually it's a $130,000 deal in Anaheim, California. All these deals are sold. Now we're just waiting to get them closed. We've closed 192, 114, and we got a ton of $60,000 deals, ton of $30,000 deals, ton of $25,000 deals. But we're going to talk about this 4-step process, this closing process to get big deals. Then we're going to talk about the closing agents. Who do you use across the country to get deals done? And then we're going to talk about the 5-step process to selling deals anywhere, any deal across the country, anywhere. That's a huge obstacle for people of how do I sell a deal across the country? You get a deal in Lubbock, Texas. You don't have a buyer's list. How do you sell it? How do you get pictures? How do you get boots on the ground? What do you do? How do you, what closing company do you use? What if you get a deal in Kansas City, right? Missouri. What do you do? What do you do? I mean, we got a whole list of all properties that we have all across the country. It's insane. That is the 6-step process we're going to cover. Now, also too, I'm going to give you my 2020 purchase and assignment contracts. I'm going to give them to you free. Here they are right here. basically my purchase contract, my assignment contract. These are the two documents you need to do deals across the country. The assignment contract, the purchase contract. This is the contract you use with sellers. This is the way you assign this contract to buyers. This is how you get paid. Now, if you are not familiar with real estate wholesaling, what we do is we look for sellers that have problems, right? Problem sellers. They want to sell their house fast. They don't want to fix up the property. The property might be distressed. They don't want to have to deal with the property. So there's some situation where they need to turn their house into cash as fast as humanly possible, and they don't want to take the traditional route, which is listing with a real estate agent. Now, 95% of the people will list with a real estate agent. They will do it. That's what they do. If you're going to sell a house, you're going to list with an agent, right? And they're going to come in, they're going to give you a laundry list of things you have to clean up, a laundry list of things you have to fix, right? You have to declutter the house because you can set it up for showings. They're going to take a bunch of pictures. They're going to put a sign in the front yard. They're going to stick it on the MLS, and your house will be listed for sale. Now, the benefit of going with an agent is you potentially, maybe, could get a higher price. The downfall is you have all that, you have a ton of showings, you have to fix up stuff, and you don't have a guaranteed price, and you don't have a guaranteed closing date. So for someone that has urgency or they need to sell, guess what? They need a guaranteed price and they need a guaranteed close date. And a lot of people don't have the wherewithal or money to declutter the property, fix up the property, clean up the property, make it look presentable so they can sell the property. So that's where you and I come in the picture. That's where we're able to add value to the situation, right? So what we do is we market for these sellers. It's marketing. We do marketing for sellers, and sellers call us, or we reach out to sellers. And we're going to talk about several different ways that you can generate leads, motivated seller leads, to get deals done, right? Sellers will reach out to you. You can reach out to them. And it's a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more offers you make, the more contracts that you're going to get. And if you make a lot of offers, you get a lot of contracts. Now, what happens is some people will accept your offer, right? And whatever that offer might be. And we typically are offering anywhere from 48 to 53% of Zillow value. So if Zillow says it's worth 100, we're going to offer 48,000 or offer 53,000. In around and about those numbers is what we're offering on those specific properties. And we're selling those properties anywhere from 58 to 63% of value of Zillow, depending on the price of the house, but that's our general case on what we do. So think about this. You have a seller. They're distressed. They don't want to list the property. They want a guaranteed price and guaranteed close date. They don't want to fix it up, and they want to sell their property fast for cash, and they call you. Or you reach out to them, and you get in contact with them. And they go, hey, I want to sell. You negotiate. You work a price. You get a price under contract, and you send them, right? You get a price, you send them this purchase contract. They sign the purchase contract. They send it back, right? And we use DocuSign. You can get that DocuSign sent back. Now you have the property under contract. Well, now what we got to do is we got to have a closing company, a national one that's going to close the transaction. And then we want to assign, and this is this contract right here, we want to assign or sell our contract to a buyer. So what we do is we find a buyer. Let's say theoretically we get the property for $100,000, and we turn around and we're going to sell it for $120,000. We're going to assign it for $120,000. So we find a buyer. We assign our contract for $120,000. Well, guess what? The seller gets the $100,000. You, putting the deal together, get the $20,000, and now a buyer gets a deep discount property that he can use the property as a rental. He can fix it up if he wants and turn around and sell it. He's an investor. He's going to buy the property for a long-term investor, or he's going to fix it and flip the property. So that is the process of what we do. Now, I've been doing real estate now for the past 17 years. 17 years. And I've been doing it primarily wholesaling in Phoenix, Arizona. We're one of the #1 real estate wholesalers in Arizona, where we do more deals than anybody when it comes to wholesaling houses in Arizona. Had a team of people, we generate leads, they would go on appointments, they would meet sellers, they make offers, we get contracts, we do deals. Now, up to about a year ago, I switched my entire business model and went national. I went national and started doing deals all across the country, and I ran across some major obstacles, like how do we get pictures? How do we show the property? How do we find buyers in these different states? How do we close the transaction with different title companies? How do we deal with all the different states and the laws and everything that's going on? How do we deal with all that? So guess what? We've worked through that. And we have a system now that's worked through that, and it's really not that hard. It's 6 steps, and I'm gonna show it to you tonight. And I'm gonna show you how we changed our business model, and I wanna tell you this, I've been doing this for 17 years. 17 years, right? And for wholesaling, this is the best month in September that I've ever had wholesaling houses in 17 years. We've done more deals and more revenue ever that I've ever done in wholesaling in 17 years. 17 years, right? Because of this new business model, the way we're generating leads, and exactly what I'm about to show you. I have spent more time and energy working, building, developing, changing, modifying our new business model and perfecting it, where now we are adding people. I've just hired, literally, I've hired some incredible people, and we are hiring more. I got another one starting on someone starting on our Dispo team on the 15th. I'm hiring 3 more people, acquisition team, which will make us 9 acquisitions, 9, that are literally hustling, getting leads, getting deals, making offers, contracting, and then doing deals. I got more on the board there, close to $2 million in revenue on the board right now that's gonna be closing here shortly in just a handful of weeks as we work through the process and getting them sold. And I'm just getting started on this national model. And I wanna explain this in detail. I'm so excited about it. It's amazing. And it's so cool, and it's so duplicatable, and so scalable, it's insane. And I'm gonna share with you the process of exactly how to get it done. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name's Sean Terry. Like I said, I've been doing this for 17 years. That's my beautiful family. Been married now for, I don't know how long now, a long time. 25 years now. I got my 22-year-old daughter, Lexi, who is now in Grand Canyon University studying to be a nurse, and she runs my Instagram account, which is cool. And I got my other daughter, 17-year-old, who now is a senior in high school. She's a singer. She's released 3 LPs now, or 3, not LPs, 3 of her original songs that she's put out on Spotify and iTunes. We're actually going to Nashville on Saturday and flying out to Nashville, and we're going out there to cut an LP. She actually wrote 5 songs with a producer out there. We're producing some songs, which would be exciting. So she's that's where is my most fun. I have a beach house in Southern California, and we go over there every summer and hang out, which we did this summer, which is exciting. So. Business life, run Integrity Home Buyers, which we do nationally. In Phoenix, we were in Phoenix Wholesale Homes, started the Flip to Freedom Academy, which is actually started the podcast, the Ultimate Real Estate Investing Podcast, back in 2010. So I've been teaching and talking about real estate since 2010. We have over, I don't know how many, it's like, what's our number now? Like, I think we're up like 13 to 14 million listeners in 196 different countries. That led into education. Obviously, you see the picture there where we do live events. The last live event in 2019 we did have over 500 people there. Started the Flip to Freedom Academy, which is an online membership with well over 20,000 members all across the country, which is amazing. So, but here's the thing, and here's the biggest difference between me and most other people out there that teach or are considered gurus, right? And I hate the word guru. I hate to be considered a guru. I just love to teach, but I love to teach what I do. There's so many people out there that teach old, antiquated methods that don't work. And they say they work and they teach it and they don't work. Or they've done it in the past, but they don't do it now. Or maybe they have a partner that does it, but they don't actually do deals and they're not actually in the trenches. Or they have a family members that do it, but they don't do it. So what happens is they try to portray they're actually doing deals in the business, but they're really not. There's very select few educators, teachers out there, and I know most of them, and I don't want to knock them, but I know that 99% of them don't actually do deals, are in the business, in the trenches, managing a team, doing marketing, closing deals, looking over HUD transactions, figuring out solving problems when you have sellers in situations where, you know, they need cash for keys, you have to negotiate where they want extra time or there's issues. I'm in it. Why? Because I do it all day, every day. Every Monday morning meeting, I sit with my entire team. We go through the transactions and solve problems on deals that we're working through. Whether we need some sort of death certificate. We got a deal in Tucson right now. It's held up. It's a $60,000 deal that we need a death certificate for. Right? Okay, let's get it. And just figure out, you know, and obviously I've done that before in many deals, but navigating, I've done deals where we've got a seller in jail and we had to go drive to the jail to get the contract signed so we can get it done and figure out that deal. We got a deal where title companies are so busy, we had to move 3 different title companies to get the transaction closed and figure out exactly how to get that done. The bottom line is that there's very few people out there that actually do the business and teach. I do the business and teach. I could not be standing here with integrity, looking you in the eyes and saying, here's what I do and exactly how I do it, and know 100% it works. If I wasn't in it and doing it myself, and that's what we're going to share. And it's exactly my business model. The only difference is in this business model, right? I have a whole team of people, right? I have a whole team. I have an acquisition team and I have a disposition team that we work through, and we follow this process in detail. Now, let's get into it. First one is understanding the numbers, understanding what produces revenue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you into what we call the first check matrix. And this is the simplest, easiest form to understanding what's called KPIs. Now, I don't want to get too technical or too deep on key performance indicators, but these are the numbers that essentially move your business forward, okay? So the key performance indicators. Now, what happens is if you have these key performance indicators, you can predict income. But what we want to do is we want to look at what action we can take, a result and a focus we can focus on. This is what I work with my acquisition team on. A focus that we can focus on that is going to produce the result. So these are the tracking numbers that I track with my sales team, right? With my crew that comes on, the numbers that we track. And so let me take you into it in my computer right here. And this is what's called the first check matrix. Now, the purpose of this is we have different marketing channels, right? And then we have gross leads and we have net leads. The difference between a gross lead and a net lead is there's responses and then there's actual leads. That's why there's difference in numbers here, right? And these numbers are in statistics are based upon numbers and statistics. I run mastermind groups. I'm part of large mastermind groups myself. And these statistics and numbers come from response rates that I monitor on a monthly basis with my mastermind team and groups that we work with to get accurate response numbers on these different channels to get these results right here. So what we have right here is marketing channels, and marketing channels produce leads. Leads produce opportunities to make offers, and offers produce opportunities to get signed contracts. A signed contract is a precursor to revenue. If you want to check, right? So what this whole training is about is showing you how to get 5 $10,000 deals by December 31. So we have a goal, we have a date, right? By December 31, 2020, I want to make $50,000. I want to get 5 $10,000 deals. How do I got to do it, right? And what happens is we just throw spaghetti against the wall and we hope it sticks. I don't like to operate like that. What I want to do is I want to know exactly, specifically, what is going to produce the check, right? So here's what we got. We got a check, a $10,000 check, and we want to do 5 of them. So if we can do 1, we can rinse and repeat the process 5 times, right? Now, we've got 12 weeks till December 31, 12 weeks. So within these 12 weeks, we're going to break them up into 6-week blocks. We get the first 6 weeks and we get the last 6 weeks. The first 6 weeks, we want to produce 25 grand. The last 6 weeks, we want to produce 25 grand. That's going to get us, guess what? It's going to get us 5 wholesale deals, $10,000, and it's going to get us the $50,000 in revenue, which is our ultimate goal. Now, the bottom line is now we got to look at what the goal is. The check, $10,000 check. Before the check is a contract, right? Before the check, well, actually, we need to get a contract on a property, right? We have to get a contract. And before the contract, we have to generate a lead. And before the lead, we have to send marketing. So we've got marketing that generates a lead, that gets a contract, that gets a check, right? So what we do is in this spreadsheet right here that I'm showing you, that what it does is it focuses us on that. We got leads right here, appointments that we have on, maybe appointments where we're going to send over someone to look at the property, right? Or if it's local, or we're going to be on the phone appointment talking to a seller, and we got offers and we got contracts. So this is the process right here. So for us to get contracts, and contracts generates revenue, we have to make offers, right? And we have to have some sort of phone conversation, appointment with them in person, whatever it might be. And we're going to talk about both, appointment and over the phone. But we have to generate leads and we have to have a goal, right? So when I set a goal, I say, listen, I want to do $1 million a year, a month in revenue. If I'm going to want $1 million, I have to reverse engineer it to how many leads we have to generate, how many offers we have to make, right? And how many contracts we need to get. So what this is a 6-week goal calendar based upon different marketing channels. Now we got postcards, we get cold calling or texting, and we got self-generated leads. Now this produces gross 185 leads, and out of those 185, we're gonna have 139, which is our net leads. That means there's gonna be 185, but they're gonna have a property that we work on, or it's in the middle of nowhere, or they're gonna call because they want to sell you a couch or something, or they're a JV something, whatever. But not every inbound response is gonna turn into a lead. So here's a gross and here's a net. Then what we do is have total appointments, total offers, total contracts, and this is profit per deal, right? Profit per deal. So guess what? If we do that, guess what? If we make 62 offers, 2.5 contracts. Now, that is aggressive, right? That's aggressive. That's basically about 1 in 30, 1 in 28. 1 in 28 basically gets you a contract on offers. Now, ours is about right now in my business and our team, about 1 in 15, about 1 in 15. The better you get at education, learning the process, making an offer, understanding a seller, understanding the repairs, making a strategic overcoming objections. Hey, I want to think about it. What do you say? If you don't know what to say when they ask why, hey, I want to think about it, then guess what? You're going to lose that deal to someone that's more educated than you are, right? So the better you get at the business, the better your conversions will. Instead of being 1 in 28, you'll be 1 in 15. This is made for an expectation of a new person getting involved, and they say, okay, at 1 in 28 offers. So I've got to make 28, 27 offers, and I'll get a contract. And guess what? If you make a lot of offers, you're gonna get a lot of contract. It's just a numbers game. It's like digging for gold. You're gonna dig a lot of dirt, right? And you're gonna pull up the dirt, and there's gonna be a chunk of rock, and you're gonna go, is this gold? Right? And a seller, wants 200,000, and it's worth 220, and you're gonna, is this gold? And we're gonna, no, it's not gold. It's not gold. Trust me, it's not gold. That's dirt. That's a rock. Then you're gonna come in, you're gonna go, oh, is this gold? House is worth 200 and the seller wants 80. That, my friends, is gold, right? And you're gonna be able to see that and understand that. Once you understand what gold is, you're gonna be able to get it. All right, so let's get in this right here and let me blow through this. I got a lot more stuff to cover. We're just on step 1 here. All right, so now, we got marketing, which I'm gonna talk about marketing here and get more detail in marketing. But basically what this is gonna do is we got 139 total net leads. It's broken up into different channels here. And we've got postcards, and then this is the budget based upon the postcards, texting, cold calling, here we go, and bam, and with your offers and what to do. So what we do is each week, we go through and say, okay, here's my goal for the week. I've got to generate 23 leads this week. If I can generate 23 leads this week, I can go out and I can get contracts, right? So let's say if you generate not 23, but you do 18, right? And then, okay, so out of 18 leads right here, you had appointments to make offers on 18 of them, and you did 16 appointments to make offers, and you made offers on all 16, and out of 16, you got 0 contracts, right? You can record this. Now, come back to me, Chris, real quick. I want to tell you something really important. So whatever you're doing, stop and listen to me right now, right? This spreadsheet I'm telling you, we use with students. We use with students to track progress, okay? And we have a virtual coaching program called the First Check Challenge. And we use this spreadsheet. And I'm gonna tell you the difference between successful students that crush it and the ones that don't have, the ones that are successful, have the spreadsheet filled out and populated with numbers that are close to their goal. The ones that don't, guess what? They get the results. If ones that have zeros in there and their numbers aren't hitting, they don't get the results. And you know what the amazing thing is? It's the exact same thing for my acquisition team. My acquisition team reports on their numbers. The ones that do incredible, they got numbers. They turn around, we got leads coming in, they turn around and they make offers on properties, make appointments on properties, make offers on properties, and they get contracts. The ones that struggle, guess what we do? If I'm sitting down with you and you say, hey, listen, and let's say this is one-on-one, you and I sitting down, and I say, listen, and you go, listen, I'm struggling. I'm trying to get a deal. I'm trying to get consistent. I'm trying to do 2 or 3, 4 deals a month. I want to ramp it up. You know what my question to you is? How many leads did you get last week? Right? How many appointments did you set to make offers? How many actually physical, written offers did you make? There's a difference between a written offer and a verbal offer. A verbal offer is a conversation. A written offer is a serious commitment. We track written offers. Verbal offers mean nothing to me. They're not trackable. We don't track them. So I said, how many written offers did you make? Answer it. So if you're with me right now, you're watching, we're having a conversation, just you and I, and I'm sitting down, we're across, having a cup of water, cup of coffee at Starbucks, right, with our mask on. How many leads did you generate? How many appointments did you make to set up either physical appointments or appointments to make offers? How many offers did you make? And how many contracts did you get? Now, I want you to answer honestly with me, and that will determine your success. Now, I sit down with my sales guys. We have this one-on-one conversation. Hey, I'm struggling. I don't know what I'm doing. We'll go over the numbers, and it's apparent the precursor to success. Now, I'm talking too fast, and I know I'm excited, but here's the deal. Here's why. Because what's great about this business is it doesn't matter what your background is, what your education is, where you've come from, if you're smart, if you're not that smart, if you're good looking or you're not good looking, it doesn't matter, right? It all doesn't matter. All that matters is the numbers that produce the results. That's it. And let's go back to the screen here, Chris. If we go back on here, the person that fills this out, takes it seriously, will get the results. Will get the results. Now, next week we go out and say, we crushed it, and we did 32 leads that came in, and we had 28 that we made appointments for, and we made 22 offers, and we got 3 contracts. Boom. Do you see what I'm saying? This is what it looks like. And when this gets all filled out, you're gonna have a result here at the bottom that's gonna produce a result on your total numbers on how you did on producing the income. Now, I wanna get off this right now and get moving on because we got a lot to cover. That's understanding the numbers and is a key component. And I could talk another hour about the numbers. I could get in detail about them, how to produce them, how to make them better, how to crush the numbers, what to focus on, the whole thing. Because here's the deal: conversion, cost per lead, deal size. Those are all things that we control in a manner of sense, and we can control those. We control the size of the deals. We control our conversion. The better we get, the better we get. So here's the next thing. Where do I do business? Now, I'm gonna go into these real quick, and I initially give people a big list, like 10. Here's 10 different places that are great, that are big cities you can do business in. I'm just gonna tell you right now, here are 5 of the best places to do deals, okay? Number 1's your own backyard. Right? You have your own backyard, you're driving around, you got neighborhood, you got distressed properties. Your own backyard is a great place. We do deals in Phoenix. We just closed one in Avondale, just did another one in Mesa. We got one in Tucson, right? We're doing deals in Phoenix in our own backyard. We continue to do deals in Phoenix. It's easy. We got contacts here. I can go look at the property if I need to. I can go take pictures if I need to. Your own backyard. So, where to start? You can start, number 1, in your own backyard. Here are 4 other prime locations that you can pick deals out of and do deals that I have done deals in personally in all these in more than one time, and they've been great places to do business. Number 1, Lubbock, Texas. Number 2, Gainesville, Florida. Number 3, Amarillo, Texas. And number 4, Dayton, Ohio. All of those 4, including your own backyard, are great places to start. Now, let's talk about the top 3 ways, and we're gonna kind of get into this real quick, is to find sellers. Now, on the right here, you'll see this is what's called a street view postcard. Now, I have no affiliation with this company. It's Yellow Letter HQ. They create the Street View postcard right here. And what they do right here is they pull a front picture right here. It says, hey, we got this picture off Google, we have not driven by. So they say this so people don't freak out, because if you put a picture of their house on it, people tend to freak out. So this is a picture of the house, right? And it says, hey, Kevin, my name is Todd, and I own a small business that purchased real estate, and we'd like to see if you're willing to sell your house at 655 Sunny Street. On the other, any other properties you might have. We do all the work. We pay all closing costs, no repairs, moving assistance if needed, fast, fair cash offer, and then the phone number. And then you can have a picture of yourself, family, or whatever type of picture on there, and then a picture of the house, okay? So that works incredibly well. This postcard crushes, especially in smaller markets, right? Smaller markets like this. In these smaller markets, nobody is sending Street View postcards. Nobody. Nobody is sending these Street View postcards. So what happens is, right, you get a huge amount of response from sellers. Now, let's get into the lists. Okay? So we've got the vacant with equity, and we've got tax default with equity, and this is from Rei Automator. So let's go here. Let's go to Rei Automator, and let's do Lubbock, Texas. Right? So here we got Lubbock, Texas. What? We got 106,000 properties in Lubbock, Texas. Now, if I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go vacant properties, right? These are vacant properties. And I want to do vacant properties, and you can do valuation and equity, and you can do on here estimated equity percentage, minimum 50%. There you go, right here. So minimum 50%. This right here, so it has 50% equity. So these houses right here are all vacant, and they have 50% equity. Now, why is vacant good? Because vacant houses, there's motivation. They've either walked away from the house, they don't want the house. When a house sits vacant, there is motivation of there, right? That means, and this is all run through the USPS, U.S. Mail Service there, and they can detect if a property is considered vacant, and this is run through. Now, just to give you an idea about this software here, it's called Rei Automator, reiautomator.com. It is the most accurate data in the business. I have been doing this right now for 17 years. I've looked at every other data platform on the planet. I have never seen one that is easy as this, where it literally gives you all these different lists. You've got vacant, you got on market. You want on market properties or just listed? You can. Vacant, liens, pre-foreclosure, auction properties, bank owned, cash buyers. We'll talk about that. High equity properties, free and clear properties, bankruptcy properties, divorce properties, tax delinquent, they haven't paid their property taxes, flippers, we'll talk about that here shortly, failed listings, and senior owners. These lists are gold, and they're all amazing. Vacant is incredible. It's one of my favorite lists. This list right here is tax delinquent. This list right here, pre-foreclosures. Now, come back to me, Chris. The pre-foreclosures that are about to hit the market in 2021, that is going to be the list to hit. Why? Because of the real estate default tsunami. You may have seen me on YouTube talking about the real estate default tsunami, or been on the email list talking about the real estate default tsunami. This will be the list that you want to hit. You definitely want to hit the real estate default tsunami. And when you do that, I mean that list, the pre-foreclosure list, is going to be super, super hot. So now, let's go back here, and you can see the pre-foreclosures. That's an incredible list. It's going to be literally, I'm going to mail this list all across the entire country next year when that default tsunami, once they lift the foreclosure ban, the eviction ban, whenever that might happen, there's going to be a flood of foreclosures, and they're going to be sitting right here and you can target them. So this is vacant. This is a great list. Now, if I go back here, oops, we got this list right here. Quit. We got this list right here. We got tax default with equity. So if I go back over here, so if I'm going to do that one, let me get rid of this one. I'm going to get rid of vacant. I'm going to keep the equity portion, and I'm going to go down to tax. Oops, not flippers. I'm going to go tax delinquent right here. So here's these are tax delinquent properties right here, 592. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do owner occupied. So I want to go for ownership info, and I want to do just individually owned, and it's going to take that down to 4,039. Now, if you want to tighten that list up, make the list smaller, then you can go in here and you can put 100% equity, right? If I put 100% equity, what it's going to do is 4,630. So these all have 100% equity in there, 100% equity, and they haven't paid their property taxes on there, which is crazy. Now, you want to do another filter? I can go vacant. Look at that. There's 257 that are vacant, and they haven't paid their property taxes, and they have 100% equity. See, you can pare down these lists, and it's called list stacking. List stacking. So let me go back here. So we've got the Street View postcard, yellow letter mail. You got Rei Automator, list of vacant equity, tax default with equity, and you can do list stacking and really pare down that list to just motivation. Otherwise, both of these, you will pull deals. You go back and you hit these right here, Lubbock, Gainesville, Florida, Amarillo, Texas, Dayton, and you send this postcard with these lists, you will get flood of calls coming in, flood of sellers looking to sell their property, and you'll be making a lot of offers. The more offers you make, the more deals you're going to get. So this is a paid right here. See this right here? This is paid, right? Because you gotta, pay for the postcards and stuff like that. So this is cheap. Here's a cheap way. And then I got free way, which is like, this is where we have lead generation. So if I go back over here and I go back to the first check matrix, you'll see that I have cold calling / texting right here. And those are essentially together self-generated leads, postcards. That will get you the leads that you want to make that happen. So I'm going to go over here to Freedom Logic. Now in Freedom Logic, this is an incredible software. I'm going to show you exactly how you can get Freedom Logic and also get Rei Automator literally for free thrown in. I'm going to show you how to get it for free. But essentially what happens is this right here, Freedom Logic, right here, if I go down and I go to marketing and I go to lead finder, what it's going to do, it's going to come up with this page. And shows 99 million properties. I'm going to do a start search. And I'm going to look for, let's go back to Lubbock, Texas. So I've got Lubbock. Texas. Now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to put right here. Let me put my glasses on so I can see. So I'm going to put vacant yes, right? And I'm not really going to care about absentee owner or owner occupied, and I'm not going to care about tax delinquent, but you could do a tax delinquent list as well, but I'm going to put vacant. Foreclosure auction, I'm not going to worry about that, or quitclaim deed. I'm going to ownership type, we already have that down here. Financials, I'm not going to worry about. Property type, I'm going to select, I want them all. Single family, duplex, triplex, quadplex, condo or townhome, right? I want those. And property filters, I don't really want anything. I don't really care about anything on here. So I primarily want Lubbock, Texas, and I want vacant properties in Lubbock, Texas that are these properties right here. If you want to pare down the list, you can just select absentee owner or owner occupant, and it can pare down that list. If you want to pare it down more, you can add tax delinquent on top of it. But for this case, I'm just going to go search. And what it's going to do, it's going to search right here in Lubbock, Texas, and it's going to come up with about 1,000, 1,500, 1,700 records. So what you can do now inside of here, I'm going to put, remember we got cheap marketing method. This is cheap, we can. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna select this page, right? And it's only gonna do select 100 of 1,700. And I'm gonna add this lead to a campaign. I'm gonna create a new campaign. And I'm gonna call it L-U-B-B-O-C-K, Lubbock, V-A-C-A-N, vacant. Campaign type is manual, manual. It's sellers, create lead campaign. So now what it's gonna do, it's gonna create that campaign. So I go to leads, I go to my campaigns, I go here to Lubbock right here, and I go here, and I see that there's 100 that I just put in there. I go here, right? And now I have all these. Now what I wanna do is I wanna select them all, right? I wanna select all. And I'm gonna go to more actions and I'm gonna skip trace these leads. Now, what you can do is now you skip trace them, right? And I've got owner of record, or I'm going to put primary contact first name, primary contact first name, primary contact last name, primary contact last name. And then I'm gonna put, for mailing address, I'm gonna put property address, property state, property city, property zip, and I'm gonna confirm skip trace, right? And what it's gonna do, it's going to skip trace this list. It's been added to your skip trace list, and now I can go through and get those skip traced. Now, I've already skip traced the list, so I'm gonna go back to campaigns right here, and I skip traced the list here in Longview, Texas that we did, to give you an example of what it looks like. So now this list is essentially skip traced, and what it's gonna do, it's gonna come back, these are Pomona actually, and here, and it's gonna give you phone numbers of all these sellers. Now what I can do is I can select them all, I can select all 36, I can go to actions, and I can go create a SMS broadcast. Now you pick a phone number, because it has a phone number inside here. I'm gonna do SMS broadcast, right? And I'm gonna do select phone number, bam, right? And now what I can do is I have this right here, hello. I'm gonna go copy, I'm gonna drop in here, paste. See, this right here is the first name. So I have property first name, so I can go in here and take the seller, primary contact first name. Hello, first name, I would like to buy your house and I have a cash offer waiting. Are you interested in selling? Question mark. Now, what I can do is send only to mobile numbers, of course, remove duplicate numbers, right? And then I can go down here and remove number from DNC, do not call list, and remove number from litigator flag. That means people are litigator. That means that they sue people for getting text messages. So you can remove them. And I haven't seen this in any platform where you can actually do this, which is pretty cool. So it's got it from a phone number, you remove that and you press next. And now I can go through and now all these text, look at, you got Miguel, you got Valerie, you got Lawrence, you got Herberto. Now I can go through and I can call them from the platform right here. I can call them, cold call them, and I can send them a text message. And I just go through and I send them a text, just like that. I click, or I can call them directly right out of the platform. This is in a matter of minutes. You can turn around and you can call these people, which is huge. And that is in the lead finder category right there. And that is a great way that you can generate leads very quickly. Now, I went through that pretty fast. There's other couple things you can do to clean up the lists, but that's a cheap, easy, fast way to get marketing done. Now, also, you can do cold calling. You can use something like a dialer, like Mojo Dialer if you want, or you can just use Freedom Logic and just click the call right out of Freedom Logic. Or if you want to use like a speed dialer that dials 3 people at a time, you can do that as well. And you use the same lists right there. You can lose those. Use these lists if you want to get them skip traced. But within Freedom Logic, it just makes it 1,000 times easier. If you don't have Freedom Logic, you can use something like Mojo Dialer. So these are free methods, cheap methods, and paid methods to generate leads. This will generate leads that will allow you to populate this spreadsheet with these numbers right here. So your goal is to get 23 for the week, right? So your goal is to send out text messages, call, and you're gonna send out postcards as well, right? You're gonna go to Street View Postcard. You're gonna get a list from Rei Automator, vacant with equity or default with equity. You're gonna send the list to Yellow Letter HQ, and they're gonna mail out these postcards, and your phone will melt. Your phone will melt with these sellers that wanna sell their property. All right, now, let's talk about now what happens next. So what happens next is you get a lead that comes in. A lead calls you. A lead responds to your text message. Your goal is to get them on the phone. Now what we have is what's called a four-step closing process. Four-step closing process, and we offer 48 to 53% of Zillow and sell for 58 to 63% of Zillow. And there's a lot of time we get it way below these numbers, and it's primarily because of this four-step process, this virtual closing script. Now, this virtual closing script, I'm gonna go through this real quick and make sure you have this. So basically what this is, you build rapport, gather property information, right? Discover the magic problem. So the goal in gathering information and building rapport is to build a connection. You want to find out why they're going to sell. What's the reason for them selling? Then you've got the first asking price is critical. Remember, if they're responding to a postcard, they want to sell their house. Let me ask you a question. What are you asking for your property, right? If they're responding to ways like a text message, let me ask you a question. What are you asking for this property? The bottom line is you want to find out what they're asking for the property. Now, sometimes they won't tell you. They'll say, make me an offer, but that's okay. You're still going to build a rapport and you're going to talk to them. Then you want to establish a ballpark repairs. This is where most people miss the boat. We spend a lot of time on our team diving into repairs because when you get to the second asking price, there should be a major drop in the first asking price to the second asking price. So here's how it goes. You're talking to a seller, you're building rapport, you're having a conversation with them. So let me ask you a question, Mr. Seller. What would you like to get for your property? What are you asking for the property? Oh, you want $200,000? Okay, great. So let me ask you a question, Mr. Seller. Can you please tell me about the roof, right? When was the last time it was replaced? When was the last time your property was remodeled? I see it was built in 1968. So it hasn't been remodeled in 1968. So has the roof been replaced since 1968? No, it hasn't. So it's probably pretty old. So let me ask you a question, Mr. Seller. How much do you think it would cost to basically put a brand new roof on your house, right? And you want to get a ballpark number from them, ballpark repair estimate from them. They're going to give you a number, $8,000. We know it's not $8,000, probably $15,000, but they said it. That means it's true. So now they say $8,000. Then they say, great, let me ask you a question. When was the last time the kitchen? Oh, wasn't it in 1968? What do you think the kitchen, what would it take to get your kitchen to look like HGTV? You know, on there, you look on, you see the, the flipper flop, and they have all the beautiful kitchens. What would it take, do you think? Give me a ballpark idea of what you think it would be. Oh, it'd be, $12,000. Bam, write it down. Let me ask you a question. What about the landscaping? What about the exterior paint? What about the interior paint? What about the tiles surrounding the showers? What about, new flooring? What about? And you go through and you have a conversation about repairs with the goal to have them give you roundabout numbers, or you're going to get agreement on numbers with them. So now the question is, so let me ask you a question, Mr. Seller. So, I know you want to move out of your property. You need some cash to move out of the house. So you need to be able to close the deal, get some cash, have some time, move out. I understand that's a problem. And number two, they have all these repairs on the property to the tune of $28,000, based upon what you and I discussed. So let's say we take care of all the repairs. We pay the $28,000. And let's say we're able to get you, cash and be able to move out and be able to give you some time to be able to do that so you didn't have to move out right away. Let's see where we'll be able to get all that done for you. What's the minimum cash you would take? That means a net number to you. No commissions are paid, no closing costs. We'll handle all that. No fees are coming out. The net number, the bottom line, rock bottom number that you would take for the property. And then you shut up, right? The first person that speaks loses. This is your second asking price in the deep dive right there. That 200,000 number should drop significantly. We've seen it drop $50,000, $60,000, $70,000. We've seen asking go from $630 to $520 on this question, and we get the contract for $500. It happens a lot because of this process. Now, the next thing we do is now you get to get at asking price. You can say, okay, great, Mr. Seller, I appreciate that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to my underwriter. I'm going to talk to my manager. I'm going to talk to my partner. I'm going to talk to my boss. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go see what I can do on this property. It looks like the comps in the area are going for roughly about $110,000, $112,000, $89,000. You know, so I don't know if I can get you that 140 price, 160 price you're asking, but I'm gonna really go bat for it. I can see what I do. It looks like the numbers here are a little bit lower than what you're asking for, and based upon the condition and the work that needs to be done, I don't know if it's gonna work, but I'm gonna see what I can do for you. But can I get you on the phone in the next 15 minutes? I'll have all that information. I'll talk to my underwriter, and I'll come back with a solid offer that you can move forward with, and we can make a decision on and see what you wanna do. So you get them back on the phone in 15 minutes. So you set an appointment, here's your appointment, to get back on the phone. So remember, you got leads coming in, and then you set an appointment. That goes back to your calendar right here. So how many leads did you have? How many appointments did you set? How many offers did you make? On every appointment, you should be making offers. So now you get back on the phone, and during this time, the 15 minutes, you're gonna do the 3 lowest comps, you're gonna subtract your spread value, you're gonna do your goal target number, and I don't wanna get too deep in these numbers because it's pretty detailed, but the bottom line is you wanna get to a point where you're offering at least 48% of the Zillow number, and you wanna have what we call a goal target number, was wiggle room for negotiation. And then you want to prepare your DocuSign with the contract. Then you get on the phone, and then you go through. The seller must be in front of the computer. You can reference any comparables if needed. Maybe you don't. Open the written offer. You're going to discuss the repairs, and then you're going to present the offer. And it's a situation like this. Listen to Mr. Seller, I understand you want, after repairs and everything we're talking about, your net number, you said about $160,000. Looks like the comps and everything in the area about $98,000 to about $120,000. And I really thought we were going to be there, but I went to bat for you, talked to my underwriter, talked to my partner, talked to my boss, and we said, can't do, instead of doing 120, I said, we'll take the repairs and we'll deal with the property, and I can get you $138,250. If I can get you $138,250, can we get this deal done, right? And now it's a yes or no. Now it's a negotiation. Now you put out your number, right? And now you can negotiate from that standpoint and get the property under contract, right? Now you get under contract for a price that works, and it's either a yes or no. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, it's a number, and then you can follow up. We have found that we send the contract, say, I'm gonna send you the contract anyways. I want you to, maybe they're gonna think about it, maybe whatever, but you can overcome those objections. And we have 16 objections we cover in detail. We show you exactly how to overcome those. Well, at least my team does. I show my team how to overcome them. The bottom line is that every objection that they have, there's a rebuttal to overcome that objection to be able to get the deal done and closed, okay? So if you stay with it on the phone and you're tenacious with a seller and you overcome those, I wanna think about it objections. I wanna have my partner look at it. I wanna have my wife look at it. I wanna have my attorney look at it. I thought the value of property is this. You can have all those objections. There's rebuttals for it so you can get those deals done. Now, let's get into the next one. Here we go. So that's the close. And the goal is to get the contract closed and done. Now, the closing agents, right? Now think about this, right? Back to me, Chris. So here we go. You get the contract signed. They sign the DocuSign, it's done. You've got the deal. That's it. You marketed, you pick Lubbock, you sent some marketing, you got a seller, you got a wait, I gotta go over here, okay. You got a contract, under contract, and you're excited. You got your first contract, bam! You're there, you're close. Now, how do you get it closed? Well, how do you get the deal closed? What do you do? Right here, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna make your life easy because you're hanging out with me here. So we got clothesline settlements, blueprint, Tyla. We got Fidelity National title right here. You got clothesline settlements, Fidelity National title, and blueprint title. Those are the 3 closing agents that we use to close our deals nationally all across the country. All right, so let's talk about the 5-step process to sell your properties anywhere as long as it's a deal. The only time you're gonna have problems selling property is if it's not a deal, it's in the middle of nowhere, nobody wants it, the property sucks, you know, it's a piece of junk, and you're not gonna be able to sell it. We got JV people that bring us, I got a deal, and you look at it, it's literally in the middle of nowhere. It's in Alaska, in the middle of the snow, and they go, I got a deal for $8,000. Who wants it? Nobody wants that deal. The bottom line is, it's just nobody wants that deal at all. It's crazy. So the bottom line is it has to be a deal. And if you've got a deal, well, guess what? Now you're in the money. You can do it. All right, so let me go back to my screen here. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we are going to a 5-step process to sell any property as long as it's a deal. We got flippers and Rei Automator. So I'm gonna go to Rei Automator. I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna go to Lubbock, Texas, and I gotta hurry up here. So I'm gonna go Lubbock. I'm gonna go to flippers. Now, why are these so great? Flippers, let me tell you what flipper is. It's a cash buyer who bought a property, fixed it up, and listed it on the market for sale. Now, we don't really want the actual buyer. We want the agent that represents the buyer. So look at this right here. Someone bought this property, right? And see, you cannot skip trace this company. So I can't get the buyer information because it's an LLC. But you know what I can do? I can go here and I can scroll down and I can get this one right here. Where is it at? Agent information. It's Keller Williams, Wendy Jones, and look at, there's Wendy's number. So guess what I'm gonna do with Wendy? I'm going to export this list. I'm gonna export this list right here. I'm gonna select them all. I'm gonna turn it into a list, and I'm gonna export these 83 agents, and we're gonna send them a text. We're gonna send them a text, and we can send them a text, and we're able to communicate with them and say, hey, do you have any buyers? So number 1, we get flippers at Rei Automator. 2, we go to realtor.com. Let me show you. We go here. So we got realtor.com. I go find realtors. I go LUBBOC, Lubbock, Texas. Right? I go search. I go worked with buyers. I go most recent activity, which we got. So I got Stacy, and now I can go in here. Let's look at Larry. So I got Larry, and look at I have here Larry's phone number. So I have a person that works on our team that all they do is compile lists. They go to Rei Automator, pull the list. They go here, they pull lists. They go to the next thing right here. So this is where we go, right here. We go 3 levels deep right here, and we pull all the cell numbers of all these in any market that we're in that we have a property, and we talk to the agents and we sell the properties. Now, there's a specific way you got to talk to these agents. How you pay these agents. You want to make sure you build in a commission for these agents. So tack on their fee into the price. Make sure you give them a price including their fee on there. We typically anywhere give from, depending on the price of the property, $5,000 to $7,000, and we are build that in. If we want to get 165, then we put on there 175, 173 on the property to have a built-in commission. So it eliminates that. We'll say we'll pay you $7,000 commission on this $120,000 deal, right? So that's step 2. Step 3 is real estate agent list, right? Real estate agent -list. So you buy the real estate agent list in the area. Real hyphen, right here, real estate agents list. Right here. So we got agents right here, agents list. You got national or state, right? I can go by state. I can go down to Texas. Texas. So Texas, look at that. 185,000 real estate agent, 185,000 with office addresses, phone numbers. So you get phone numbers that comes with cell phone numbers plus, right? And 63,943 cell phone numbers. So what we can do is we can get that list. Literally costs us $9.97 if we wanted to do that, right? Now you don't have to, you can get the other free methods to do that, but $9.97. And what you do is you can scrape out those agents and you can turn around in Lubbock and send them a text, right? We send them a text. We can send them a text right out of here, right? We can put them and we can create a campaign. We can create a campaign right here. We put them into a lead campaign. We start a new campaign and we import the list. And once we have the campaign, let me just show you real quick. I can go here, and if I wanted, I can then have the campaign, and I go to a text broadcast, and I can send a message, and I can send a text out to all these agents and get responses, and the responses will come back here. And now I can have the responses. I already have a buyer right here. I just texted him. This came in right here. Look at that, 6:28. Right? Came in a couple minutes ago. So this conversation came in. I sent him a text, right? Not for sale, thank you. I already have a buyer, boom, right? Hello, do you have a buyer? So we sent this text out to him, right? So the bottom line is that he just responded back via text, and there were the responses comes back right there, which is pretty cool. All right, so you just put a text, you can put it in there, and you can text right out of this system. You already have it, which is cool. So that is, let me go back here. Rei Automator. So these are the flippers, right? Then we get realtor.com, then we get real estate agent list, and we get cash buyers, Rei Automator. Let me go back there real quick. I know I'm going fast, but you go back here, and now I'm going to pull in Lubbock. I'm going to pull all the cash buyers right here. Has all the cash buyer, 11,000 cash buyers. And I would put in here on a filter on these cash buyers that they purchased the property, ownership info, minimum ownership, at least, well, I'm going to put owner type. You can't skip to it. You have to do individual. So now you got 5,000 of them. And, you can do number of properties, minimum 2. Okay, so there's 5. So these guys own now, even if you want to pare down the list, you can do 5. So there's 2,331 individual cash buyers that own a minimum of 5 properties right here, right? Which is huge to know that, right? To know that, which is amazing. And then you can also do, you can do local, and now you get 2,200. So these are local cash buyers that have minimum of 5 properties, It's individually owned, so their investor owns 5 properties. Now I can take these, I can create a list, and I can go through, and I go over here, and I can skip trace them. I can skip trace them right here, and I can pull all their list and name out of them, and I can put them into a campaign in Freedom Logic, and I can turn around and text them, and I can get responses back, and I can get deals closed. It's amazing, right? And it keeps all the communication within that lead, and the lead comes in. You can turn that lead into a buyer, and that buyer, you can connect it to a property. We have properties in there, right? Have the properties in there. This is a test account, but you have properties in there, so we can connect the lead to the property, and it all works together seamlessly, which is amazing. All right, so now we have cash buyers and we have JV deals. We do JV deals. This is our last resort if we've done all these and we still can't sell the property. All right, so now, let me get a drink of water. All right, so Chris, here's the deal. You have some choices, right? Have some choices. I gave you a ton of information. This is the process we use to do deals. If you follow this process, go back and watch it again. This is gonna be recorded so you can see it again. I gave you a lot of information. Now, I have a whole team that does this. We have 6 acquisitions. We're bringing on 3 more. I have a whole team of disposition. I got a transaction coordinator. I got the guy that all he does is compile lists. I got someone that all they do is set appointments for buyers. I just hired another person. I started the 15th. And I got a COO, which is a dispo manager that runs the entire dispo team and crushes it. So I've got an acquisition team. I got a dispo team. And essentially, we're a machine that generates leads just like I showed you. And we turn around with other marketing methods that we use and go out there and crush it. And we are hiring more people like crazy and going out there and crush it. So we are doing this on a daily, every single day. This is where I spend most of my time. I've literally been off Instagram for probably, I don't know how long, because I was in a California house for a month hanging out, but going crazy, but literally diving in and building our real estate teams. And literally up to the point where this is the best month that we've had in 17 years of doing business. And I don't want to take full credit. My team has been absolutely amazing. I want to give all them the credit because they went out there and crushed it. They went out there doing these huge deals, monster deals, and it's been super awesome. So here's the deal. How can you work with us and learn this system? That's the question. How can you work with us and use this system? Well, we don't work with everybody. We work just like an interview process with a select few people. We want to work with a handful of people that are motivated, that are goal-orientated, that are teachable, that want to learn how to do what we do, this business, right? And dominate and go out there and crush it. Not that we do business together, not that we do deals together, but you can learn this process and go out and crush it. So here's a couple different options, right? Number one, you can try to figure it out yourself, right? You can take this information we learned, and there's a lot more. There's literally minute details in between that if you know what to do, it becomes easy, but if you don't, it becomes difficult. But you can figure it out on your own. It takes time and money to do it. You can spend money on leads. You don't know what to say. You don't have the scripts. You don't know what to say in the methodical way. You don't know what to offer correctly. Then it can take a lot of time and a lot of money to figure out the right way to do it. Like I've been doing this for 17 years in the business, and I pretty much have seen everything. I've done small deals. I've done large deals. We flipped apartment complex. I own apartment complex, and we do complexes, and we do deals. The next thing you do is you could read books. You could go on YouTube and try to piecemeal it together watching videos, or you can listen to podcasts, right? I tried to do that. I tried to piecemeal all this stuff together, trying to find the right business model. What was the right business model that would work, that I could dive in and crush it instead of changing? Then I'm going to do land, and then I'm going to do tax deeds, and then I'm going to do, this, and then I'm going to do that. And the problem is you keep switching to all these different business models, and the people you're following don't even do deals themselves. right? So you're trying to do an old, antiquated business model that maybe bits and pieces of it work, but the whole business model doesn't work today. We did deals during COVID. We did deals over the phone. We've done deals now, and we're gonna crush it in 2021 when the real estate default tsunami hits the market and a flood of these foreclosures, when they lift all the bans, hit the market. It's going to happen. I've got the research, I looked at the data, I've talked to some incredibly successful people that are way smarter than me, and it is coming. And you could try to figure it out yourself. You could read books and watch videos and listen to podcasts. You could find a local investor if you wanted and hope they know what they're doing and hope they're gonna teach you what they know, right? Or you could work with us if you're accepted. Now, we have an application process that you can apply to work with me and my team. Now, Brandon Simmons is my, basically has worked with me for 7 years, almost 8 years, 7 years. He's run my business. He has his own business virtually nationally. He does deals all across the entire country. He knows real estate, is probably knows my business the closest. And he runs our First Check Challenge program, which is by application only. We review every application that comes in. We look at it thoroughly. We decide if they were a right fit. If they're not a right fit, then we refer them elsewhere. Then we can't do anything. If they are a right fit, then we work directly with them, and we're excited to work with them. So what we do in our First Check Challenge process, it's amazing. It's a Mission Impossible style 8-week mastermind challenge where you and a small group of people meet via Zoom once a week, and you follow exactly what I just laid out. But you have a team of people, and you have a systematic process, you have the spreadsheet, and you know what? You get the software for free. You get Rei Automator for free. You get the Freedom Logic for free. That's all part of the deal. You just have to pay the monthly, that's it. I pay all the upfront, all the license fees, those are all waived. All you gotta do is pay the monthly, that's it. That's for all the data and the usage and stuff, which is cheap. The bottom line is that you are able to work with Brandon and our team and our coaches that we work with that are doing exactly what I am teaching right here. And it's a mapped out process. It's a curriculum that produces results. And you'll have your First Check Challenge spreadsheet, and you'll go through and you'll map out a plan, and you'll follow that plan and report in each week. And it's amazing because there's accountability, number one. Number two, it's a camaraderie because you got a team. They actually brand the teams, and you compete on a friendly competition against other teams out there. It's amazing. And guess what? You get all part. I'm involved in it. Brandon's involved in it. Team's involved in it. And I meet Brandon every single week, and we mastermind and go through stuff that's working, things we want to change. How do we make it better? What's the questions? How can we answer it? And we literally just basically, in a real-time fashion, mold this so you are on the cutting edge of what's working right now during this crazy time in the market, during this crazy election season, right? During this crazy, stimulus package. Is it coming? Is it not? Is there a vaccine coming? Is it all this? And we're still having the best month we've ever had. And we've got more deals on the books right now, more properties sold to buyers, more deals. I just got, before I got on here, I approved 3 HUDs that are closing this week for over 100,000, 180,000 in revenue. They're closing by Friday, probably fund on Monday, but it'll close tomorrow, which is insane. Right now, when the whole world is like crazy, right? The bottom line is, what are you doing? If you are sick of sitting idle, you're sick of sitting there waiting to get called back for your job, or maybe you're sick of sitting there, maybe you're gonna work, maybe you're not, maybe you get a furloughed, maybe you get cut, maybe you're doing great in your job, but you're sick of working a job and you want to do something different, you want to finally do something for yourself. Then now is the time. Here's the calling for you. This is what you've been waiting for. Now, below this video, there should be a button or some sort of application. Fill out the application. Fill out the application. Get started right now. One of my team members, Bryant, right? He's my right-hand man. I've been working with him now for 4 years. Bryant, he's awesome. He's out of St. Louis. He's an awesome guy, a right-hand guy. One of my team from my office will give you a call. They're gonna go through the application. They're gonna ask you some questions. They're gonna make sure that you're a right fit for the program so you fully understand what the program's about. And they're gonna work with you to see if you wanna get started and the First Check Challenge. We have limited spaces available. We have a certain amount of classes we have starting on certain times. Or you can go to firstcheckchallenge.com. You can check out the video that Brandon and I did on there. It's pretty fun. So that is working directly with both of us. It's awesome. You'll love it. And it's such a fun, incredible program. And it's literally a precursor to get you going. Once you get your first check, how do you get multiple checks? I just did a call I just got off with our 6-figure syndicate students. So basically a 6-figure syndicate, and they do 100,000 in revenue. We do a mastermind. They meet it in my office. Now we haven't this year because of COVID, but next year in 2021, we will meet in my office. They will get to meet my team. They'll get to listen to them closing over the phone. They'll get to meet my dispo team and my appointment setters and my acquisition team and what they do. They'll get to see the whole process in action. And there's nothing like seeing it so you can build it, right? The bottom line is you get to come to my office and see exactly how deals are done. Deals are done. And write me in the mix of doing it, and you get to be in the mix of doing it too. So that's 6-figure syndicate, and it's a great group of guys and gals from all over the entire country that's following I was just on right now. One of the guys had his biggest month, closed $60,000 last month. 60 grand. When the other guys just closed, his name's Freddie, closed $40,000 last month. The guy's 60, right? This is his first year during COVID that he really dove in and focused on wholesale. He did fix and flips, and he's like, thank God we didn't do fix and flip because of COVID, I would have been screwed. But since I changed and I got involved with you and I started doing what you're doing, started doing what you're teaching, literally this year has been insane. Now we've made a couple tweaks with him when I showed him how he can double and triple his income. And we get to show you exactly that too. As you start growing and building your business and scaling to the next level. The bottom line is go to First Check Challenge. You can check it out. Now, below this video, there should be a link. Chelsea put a link down there. It should be around the application somewhere above the chat box. Should be a link that you can download these 2 contracts. It's my purchase contract, my basically my, my assignment contract. My brain's going, it's like no dinner. Brain's going, whew. So you can download that. You can check it out. You can use that across the country, assignment contract, have your attorney look at it, review it, check it out, make sure it's good, make sure you're comfortable with it, and then you can use it. Make sure you go down, fill out the application below, get started right now. You don't want to miss it. And we'll see you shortly.